In this video, we're taking a look at the Oppo Reno5 5G. This is supposedly a huge leap in AI technology for smartphone cameras. Let's begin with the unboxing. The version that we got is the starry black. Getting into the box itself, the main highlighted features, as you can see, are all focused towards the camera and the AI capabilities. Inside, you have a quad camera setup. It comes with a SIM card ejector tool, a clear case, the fast charging VOOC brick, a Type-C cable, as well as complimentary earphones, because why not? Like I said, the variant we got is the starry black, and it is actually very pleasant looking. You have the Oppo logo at the bottom, the quad camera setup on the back, a green power button on the right, and the volume rockers on the left. It is also Type-C and has a 3.5mm jack. The version that we got comes with 8 gigs of RAM as well as 128 GB of storage, running the Qualcomm Snapdragon 765G, which is a gaming processor. Let's have a look at the display. It's a 6.43-inch OLED 90Hz panel with 750 nits peak brightness. It is quite bright and very visible in any condition pretty much. Even in direct sunlight, I had no problems with viewing the screen, and it adapts to lower light situations as well. Gives you really nice colors and production of the image overall with nice contrast levels and different viewing angles. Again, it goes up to 90 Hz, not really the highest we've seen in the market, but it's a baseline at this point. Pretty good for watching Netflix and movies on, as well as gaming if you want that faster refresher. Let's talk about the performance on this. For the test of performance, I tried out gaming on this. It has its very own gaming space. Even with high refresh rate, high graphics turned on, you can get roughly between 60 to 70 FPS, which is pretty good in terms of performance. This doesn't just translate to gaming itself, but even using the phone over time, you do not feel any lag or latency. At least for the part of our test, we didn't feel any issues with that per se. Even the touch sensing and everything felt pretty good. So using the phone overall long term, you won't really feel that much of a lag issue or anything of the sort. But let's get into the main selling factor of this phone, which is the camera and the AI updates to the camera. The main distinguishing feature would be the camera on this. You have a quad camera setup with a 64 megapixel main sensor, 8 megapixel ultra wide sensor, 2 megapixel depth sensor, as well as a 2 megapixel macro lens. This is actually a very common set we've seen with most quad camera setups. The zoom on this in video mode can go up to 10x, and in image mode goes up to 20x as well. Here's a sample of the bokeh mode video. This is now a live AI bokeh test. I've turned it all the way up to 100%, so the background that you see should look very professionally blurred out. It should look like it's coming from a professional DSLR lens. This also works with multiple lenses, so if you use the 2x, the telephoto lens, it should technically have a better effect because the depth of field would be a lot nicer, but it would be a little bit harder for the camera to adapt for that bokeh. But let's see what that looks like. This actually really caught me off guard. The image on the left is taken with a professional DSLR, the right is the Oppo Reno5. We've seen other smartphone manufacturers attempt this, but they're not nearly as good as the Oppo Reno5. Another feature Oppo wanted to highlight is their dual view video mode, which basically allows you to shoot with the front and back camera simultaneously. You can even choose from 3 different layouts, as well as customizing which zoom lens you want to use for the back camera. Here's a sample video. So this is the dual view video where I can shoot with the both front and back camera simultaneously, and you can customize the layout as well, as I showed you guys already, and image quality looks pretty good overall. You can even use the different zoom lenses while you're doing this. So if you want to zoom in, we can zoom in 5 times while still recording. Pretty great. The next video feature they want you to focus on is the AI highlight video. This basically boosts up your live HDR performance and gives you really pleasing HDR looks. Check out this example. I'll take a picture of my SD card, the back is completely blown out, turn on the AI highlight feature and you get your background exposure back. Same with this shot, the trees become a lot more exposed and vibrant when I turn that feature on, and the HDR capabilities overall just accentuate, and it looks really, really good. An outdoor shot like this, the trees are kind of on the darker side when you look at it this way, but turning on the feature, you can see the trees become a lot brighter as well, while still maintaining the highlights in the sky, and you get a very nice, well rounded out HDR image that looks very, very nice overall. Shooting this outdoors as well works really, really well. You get vibrant images. They can be a little bit warm, but they look pretty good. Another mode that I think is quite worthy of talking about is the film mode. It pretty much transforms this into a professional camera with professional features like controlling your ISO, shutter speed, white balance, even focusing distance. It slaps on some black bars top and bottom as well to give you that cinematic look. Add on a color grade and you can really take some nice cinematic shots with this if you know what you're doing, and you get nice background blur anyway with the focusing lens, and it looks really good overall. It started raining outside so I couldn't shoot as much, but even indoors, as you can see, since you're controlling the ISO, you can take really nice shots even in low light. As you can see, the control you can get on this is really, really good, and you can really take your filming to the next level. So one of the features they were really talking about as well was the beauty feature in video. So it has a live AI based feature that tracks your face and applies a beauty filter to it. A lot of phones do that, but this supposedly does it really well. From what I can see, I've turned on the skin smoothening and it does look pretty good actually. Like it's made my skin very smooth. I don't like it, but it's made my skin very smooth. Oh my god. Do you see that? Okay, so this is with everything turned all the way to the max. So if any of you guys are into this, you'll definitely love this. The face beauty feature works really well. I look like an alien though. It works really well though, guys. If that's what you're into, you're gonna like this. When it comes to the image taking capabilities, this is where I was slightly disappointed. Not much has changed from the Oppo Reno5 except for that HDR feature, which can look a little bit gimmicky at times. The portrait mode looks the same. The only place I would say it actually does shine is the front camera. You get a lot more detail with the 32 megapixel camera, live HDR as well. So the overall performance just for the image side for it isn't that overwhelmingly exciting. Now let's talk about the pros and cons and who this phone is really for. If you didn't notice by now, it's very camera focused. So if you're not into that, you'd probably be bored by now. But if you are a camera enthusiast who really likes taking pictures and videos with your phone, here are some of the pros that you might want to listen to. You obviously have the dual view video mode. You get the AI highlights feature that is surprisingly really good. You also get the beautification mode if that's what you're into really, but not for me. You have the expert shooting mode to get that film look, which gives you full control without having to get a third-party application. You get a really nice display that has really nice colors and viewing angles for you to consume content on in any environment. Great for watching movies on, consuming content on, even gaming on. Additional features include the in-screen fast fingerprint sensor. You have an always-on display that looks pretty nice and is interactive as well. You even have floating windows for additional multitasking capabilities. I mean, you can pretty much do everything with this phone that you really want to. The fast charging with the 4300 mAh battery can go up to 45 minutes for a full charge, which is quite quick as well. But there's obviously some cons as well. I think this is just me personally. It doesn't have a dual speaker system, so you have a bottom firing speaker only, which can be a bit annoying in blockage. And yeah, the camera performance is honestly just not as great for the images. For videos, it's really great, but for picture taking, really not that different from the previous generation. So all in all, the Oppo Reno5 is a great smartphone for someone looking for a mid-range phone that they can game on, multitask on, consume content on, with a really nice display that gives you pretty much the best of everything. But the main focus, the main reason you should be buying this, or the person who should be buying this, is someone who's really into the video functionality and everything that I showed you earlier, especially when it comes to the unique features that this has. This is for you guys.